26-year-old Andrew Forster might be born and bred in the northeast, but he's passionate about Italian food. As head chef of a popular restaurant, Andrew's reached the top of the cooking game.
I love to cook. I love to present food, make it, everything to do with it.
Happy in his job and engaged to be married, Andrew seems to have it all. But his life is far from normal, because for 26 years, the only thing Andrew Forster has ever eaten is biscuits.
Never tried to eat out, I'll just bring it back up, I'll just vomit, wrench it, and come back up somehow. Just can't hit the back of your throat, I just can't have anything in there. And all my life, all I've had is just biscuits.
Unless Andrew changes his ways, he risks serious health problems. Getting him to beat his addictions will be the job of psychologist Stephen Briers and nutritionist Natalie Savona. Natalie's job is to encourage him to eat new foods.
I can just sort of see that you're raring to go rather than going, oh, yuck, fish.
While Stephen will try to show Andrew that changing his ways is as easy as riding a bike.
Are you having some kind of problem there, Andrew?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Over the next 4 weeks, they'll try to reverse a lifetime of bad eating habits.
Table 5, 1 bruschetta asparagus.
Andrew Forster works long and demanding hours as head chef of Sale Pepe, a busy Italian restaurant near his hometown of Consett. His menu draws in customers from miles around, but what they don't know is that while the chef loves cooking their food, he's not able to actually eat any of it.
It's really frustrating that I can't eat my own food. I just don't like it. I can't eat it. It does me head in. One of the reasons why I became a chef was because I thought being in a kitchen with all them ingredients would help with me eating problem with the biscuits. But it hasn't worked out like that way. Ali, will you come taste the sauces? I have a couple of special tasters that always taste my food, so they get the same quality all the time. I've got a good intuition for what I'm doing, so it's always right when it comes out the door.
Andrew has never eaten meat, fish, fruit or vegetables. Even his packed lunch is a 5-year-old's dream.
Cannon Waves are my favourites. A toffee crisp, a Kit Kat, a double-decker, shortcake thing, Mars bar, and just some different kinds of biscuits. It's quite a lot, isn't it?
At home, Andrew's fiancée, Caroline, does her best to encourage him to try new foods.
Try some of that.
No.
But she rarely succeeds.
I mean, I tend to get a no because I think, well, just eat it, try it. There's nothing wrong with it. Why aren't eating it? I mean, personally, I don't know myself. I don't know why I can't eat it. I just think he's being awkward.
It's a problem Andrew's mum, Anne, is all too familiar with. And as a nurse, her biggest worry is his health.
There's a lot of heart disease in our family. I mean, my father died when he was 60, and his brother's dead, and his sister's dead, and his other brothers had a triple bypass. So it is in the family.
To reduce the adverse effects of his high-fat, high-sugar diet, Andrew follows a tough fitness regime.
I come to the gym about 3 times a week. And if I come to the gym, I sort of balance unhealthy with healthy and trying to work some of the sugar and stuff off.
He likes to go to the gym a lot to think, oh, it's improving his health. He takes a lot of vitamins, actually.
In fact, Andrew takes 10 different pills every day.
I've got multivitamins with probiotics, I've got cod liver oil, I've got iron, I've got vitamin C.
Despite all the supplements, Andrew's energy levels are still all over the place.
Sometimes I'm like high as a kite, I'm like jumping around like a lunatic, and most of the time I'm just like, oh, bloody hell, I'm knackered. And that's quite a lot of the time.
19-year-old Joanne Adams is a budding artist with an eye for style and fashion. With dreams of becoming an art teacher, she has everything to look forward to. Except that Joanne has an embarrassing secret. She's addicted to potatoes and survives on a diet of chips, mash and crisps.
In a day, I'd say I could go between 5 and 10 packets of crisps. The only time I'm not eating them is when I'm asleep.
She's terrified of eating fruit and veg.
I live in fear of lumpy food getting into my mouth and making me feel
And her fear of all things new doesn't end with food.
I always think there's someone following me or going to kidnap me.
Unless Joanne changes her ways, she risks serious health problems.
Are you ready to see what the future holds?
Oh my God.
Getting her to beat her addictions will be the job of clinical psychologist Stephen Briers and nutritionist Natalie Savona. Natalie will encourage Joanne to stop being stubborn,
Is that something that you think you might try?
It looks like sick to me.
while Stephen will work on Joanne's state of mind
Are you ready to go for it?
I don't know, I want to sit here for a bit.
by getting the ball rolling. Over the next 4 weeks, they'll try to reverse a lifetime of bad eating habits.
Disgusting, I swear.
Lives in Middlesbrough with her family, mum Carol, dad Jeff, and older brother Paul. And her boyfriend of 3 years, Tom, lives just round the corner. A talented artist, Joanne is about to enrol on a fine art course at university. She might be about to enter a whole new world, but there's one thing that won't be changing: her penchant for all things potato. For dinner every day, Joanne eats mashed potato, but only when made by her mum.
They're all right.
Yeah.
I've mashed them enough.
I will only eat mashed potato made by my mum because I know that my mum's going to do it the way I want it. So I just don't trust anyone else to do it. I think I'll have that black bit out.
Do you want to try them?
Yeah, just how I like them.
On special occasions, Joanne treats herself to chips.
Hi, Joanne. The usual. Yeah, the usual.
But even they must be bought from one of 2 trusted chip shops.
If my mum gets me some chips, I can always tell that they're not from the chip shop that I like. Then she'll be like, yeah, they are. And I'll be like, no, they aren't. I know they aren't. Nobody can lie to me about food.
We have accepted it. It is the norm in our house. We don't think about it now because it's gone on for so long.
The mainstay of her diet is crisps, and lots of them.
And that's breakfast, and that's lunch, and that's tea.
Her parents buy a shocking 100 bags of crisps a week to keep Joanne happy.
On an average day, it'd be wake up, crisps, break time, more crisps, lunchtime, probably 2 packets of crisps. When I get home, some more crisps, and then maybe chips or mashed potato.
Joanne's grandma is worried about her potato-fueled diet and always offers her something healthy to eat instead.
Just one of these little nice salads. It's got little bits of everything in.
Looks like sick.
Would you like to try it?
New foods make me feel panicky, anxious, worried. I live in fear of lumpy food getting past my lips into my mouth because I'm not used to it at all, that I have to spit out the food there and then.
To keep these embarrassing situations to a minimum, Joanne has developed a useful avoidance strategy.
Because I've got a nut allergy, I can use that as an excuse. So I sometimes say, oh, I am going to eat at home because I have to be wary of nuts.
Only eating her mum's mash means that Joanne always has to eat dinner at home. Her family fear for her health.
We worry about Joanne every day. We need her to be strong and healthy, and we're pretty desperate for her to change. And at the moment, we're failing.
Boyfriend Tom is also concerned about the future.
It does worry me a bit. So she's going to be ill when she's older. She's going to be frail and stuff.
At just 19, Joanne is already worried that her food problem is holding her back in life.
Now that I'm going to university, I plan to move on as I'm following my career. I want my food to move on with me. I want to change now before it's too late.
18-year-old Helen Tree has an unusual problem when it comes to eating.
I'm absolutely terrified of food. If someone puts a plate of fruit or vegetables in front of me or anywhere near me, I feel sick and I just burst into tears usually.
Her fear of fruit and veg is so extreme she can only eat one thing. Helen is addicted to pasta.
Pasta's my favourite food. Every day for dinner I have pasta, and I have done for years, and I probably will do forevermore.
Helen dreams of becoming a high-flying politician, but unless she can overcome her pasta problem, she's risking both her career and her health. Getting her to beat her addictions will be the job of clinical psychologist Stephen Briers and nutritionist Natalie Savona. Natalie's job is to encourage her to eat new foods.
Throwing it in my mouth.
If you think, oh, I don't like it, I'm not going to try it, then we won't get anywhere.
While Stephen will try to wash away Helen's tears by diving deep into her psychological fears.
The longer she can stay down there, actually her anxiety will begin to sort of drop down.
Over the next 4 weeks, they'll try and reverse a lifetime of bad eating habits.
That looks like sick. I can't eat that.
Grade A student Helen Tree knows a thing or two about politics, and at just 18, she's already had experience of working in the Houses of Parliament.
Politics is a huge part of my daily life. I'm a member of a political party, I'm part of the Politics Society. When I leave university, I definitely want to go into politics somehow.
But if Helen ever does make it into government, her food policy will need a serious rethink. She's addicted to pasta, plain pasta.
Every day for dinner, I have pasta. It's been years and years and years since I've had meat and veg and things like that. I honestly couldn't tell you when it was.
Helen eats enormous amounts of plain pasta with only a side order of tomato ketchup to spice it up.
People always assume that what I eat is boring and repetitive, but for me, eating is just eating. I don't enjoy eating food. It's a necessity for me.
When pasta isn't available, Helen's alternatives of cheese, chips, chocolate and bread are far from healthy. But any attempts to try new foods always end in tears.
I don't want it in me. I don't want to eat it. I know I won't like it, so what's the point?
She gets quite an extreme reaction to food. She doesn't like touching it particularly. She just ends up crying.
I don't know what it is that scares me. It's probably the unknown. I don't know if I like it or not. I don't know what it is.
None of Helen's 5 siblings have problems with food, and they struggle to understand her crying over carrots.
I find it really annoying. I just think, why won't you eat normal food? And why won't you just be normal, please?
Helen's family have learned to live with her odd eating, but in just 2 weeks, she'll be leaving her home in Kent to start a new life at Queen Mary's University in London.
I'm dreading meeting new people and telling them about my eating habits. It is quite embarrassing. I don't want anyone to think that I'm weird. I just don't want it to set me back in my future career.
I think this is a really important time for Helen. I think that she needs to address this now and change her way of eating, even if it's just small steps.
I've tried as much as I can. I've encouraged her to eat. I can't think of any other way as a family that we can make her, force her to eat something that she's totally against eating.
Helen's determined to deal with her diet once and for all, but knows that once she goes to uni and loses the support of her family and friends, it won't be easy.
It's a habit of a lifetime, and I think it'll be really, really hard to crack that. And I'll be amazed if I do, to be honest, because the reaction is so strong.
Manchester's home to Kate Silk, a regular northern lass. With a loving husband and 2 lovely daughters, her life seems perfect. But behind the smiles is an embarrassing secret. Kate's addicted to cheese.
I won't put it in my mouth if it isn't cheese. It's quick, it's easy, it's tasty, and I know I like it.
Kate isn't the only freaky eater in the family. Both her daughters are following in her dietary footsteps.
That is me.
Kate's desperate to change, but new foods drive her to despair.
And I just can't put it in my mouth.
But help is at hand. Clinical psychologist Stephen Briers and nutritionist Natalie Savona will try to help Kate beat her addictions. Natalie's job is to encourage Kate to embrace new foods.
You just need to get where your banana boundary is.
While Stephen will push her to deck the demons that drive her hatred of healthy food.
Perhaps your early school experience wasn't that happy.
I used to get really, really hungry.
They've got just 4 weeks to reverse a lifetime of bad eating habits.
I'm bored, hungry, and fed up. If somebody could wave a magic wand or hypnotise me, and then I could eat everything, that would be perfect.
37-year-old teaching assistant Kate Silk lives in Manchester with husband Jeff. He's stepdad to her 2 daughters, 14-year-old Megan and 12-year-old Georgia. Kate's a devoted mum who loves to spend time with her family, but behind closed kitchen doors, life is no walk in the park. Because Kate's diet is almost exclusively cheese.
I'll eat cheese sandwiches, cheese and crackers. I have a jacket potato with cheese every day at work for my dinner.
Morning, Kate. Usual?
Yes, thank you. And I usually come home and have cheese and crackers every night for my tea. It's my favourite food.
Eating mostly cheese every day for the last 30 years has turned Kate into something of a connoisseur.
The salt and vinegar's dead zingy, so it goes great with the taste of Lancashire. The roast chicken's more of a savoury flavour, so that goes well with the cheddar and the digestives. And then the smoky bacon goes really well with the other crackers and the soft cheese. I think the reason I stick with cheese is because I have that memory of eating it from being a little girl. It's so safe. So I know that I can tolerate it and eat it and it won't make me sick or it won't make me feel uncomfortable.
Kate has one other safe food, and it's the only home-cooked meal she'll eat. Her mum's roast dinner, but only if it's cooked by her mum and only if she eats it at her mum's house.
It goes against everything else that I usually eat because I have a full roast dinner with loads of gravy on it. But I can remember having that every Sunday from being a little girl.
I've been cooking the same Sunday lunch for even more than 25 years, so ever since she was a child.
It's lovely, Mum, thank you.
Mum Jean never gets the opportunity to experiment with her cooking. The menu has to be the same every week.
If I varied the menu, she wouldn't eat it. So it's useless preparing something that she's not going to eat. It upsets her, it gets me all het up. But I know that the same, it's very boring and dull, really, but I know that she'll eat it. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Other than this weekly roast, it's cheese all the way. Kate cannot bear to touch anything else.
It just looks like slop. I find it very difficult to taste anything that's sloppy, whether it's a stew or a curry, or anything that has sauce on the top of it.
Okay, you want to try?
Sadly for husband Jeff, Kate's fear of anything hot and saucy means his home-cooked specialities are her worst nightmare.
You want to try it, Sis?
If Jeff's cooking something, he'll say when it's done, are you going to taste it? And then as it gets nearer, I can feel myself getting really, really anxious. So then when it actually comes to the point where I have to taste it, I'm heaving usually before I've even put it in my mouth.
That's horrible.
Oh dear.
I always cook for myself only, because she won't have what I'm eating, neither will the girls. And that does make me sad.
Though Jeff is accustomed to her strange behaviour, he's seriously worried about the impact it's having on their children.
There you go, sweetheart.
Especially 12-year-old Georgia.
I eat breaded chicken, potato processed, but I don't eat pasta, I don't eat fish. I do eat the occasional burger. Oh, it's got something on it. But I am normal on the crisp and chocolate front.
The family's biggest passion is exotic travel, but finding food to please everyone is a recipe for disaster.
When we go on holiday, it can be a nightmare. There are even occasions where I have gone into an establishment and eaten on my own. Sometimes with Kate and the girls who are eating nothing and just having drinks.
A lifetime of eating cheese is finally taking its toll on Kate's patience.
I'm bored of the food I'm eating. It's so repetitive, and even if you change from Lancashire to cheddar cheese, it's still the same texture, it's still the same crackers. It's got to the point now where if somebody could wave a magic wand or hypnotise me, and then I could eat everything, that would be perfect.